It's more than just the gossip. It's the issues that matter most to you. A closer look at current events, just the tip, special guests, and more. Welcome to Let's Have a Fefe, Arizona's longest-running drag live stream. Hosted by Felicia Fefe Minor and Freddy Prinze Charming. Streaming live on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Promotional consideration for Let's Have a Fefe provided by Wigs of a Kind, The Burly Barber, Bone and Basil, as well as our patrons at Patreon. Go to patreon.com/Let's Have a Fefe to become a Fefe patron. Virtual tips accepted at paypal.me/Let's Have a Fefe. Welcome to Let's Have a Fefe.
Hello, you made it. I wasn't sure if you were going to.
What? Me? Be late to anything?
I feel like I'm channeling you a little bit with this eyelash. That isn't quite.
It's too small. It's too small.
Doing what it's supposed to do.
Mine are a little bit. But hello to everyone. I'm here, yes, believe it or not. But I my main thing this evening was fumbling with the lash, and I think that because I make 3 sets, and they're each different, but I think I mixed them together somehow. So now I can't. This gives me excuse to make new ones.
I haven't put I haven't put any kind of lashes on in so long that I had to re-stick this fucker 3 times, and finally I'm just never mind. It's fine. I'll just.
So welcome to Let's Have a Fefe. This is season 10, episode 15. And we still don't know how to put on our lashes, but it's okay. This is your Wednesday night conversation.
You've been putting on lashes a than I have, so
yeah. Well, I never promised to anybody that I would get it right. I am Felicia Fefe Minor, and the Browlicious, the Lashalicious Freddy Prinze Charming is over there.
It's something.
We'd like to thank our 18 patrons. Allison, Brandon, Cassandra, Drake Jensen, Casey Starr, Carrie and Corey, Kim, Joan, Jody, Leanne, Nicole, Patricia Mason, Sassy C. Diaz, Shannon, Shelley, and Sky. And we'd like to thank those, our friends and supporters, Patricia Mason, Sky, and Drake Jensen, for taking a deeper plunge. A special thanks to...
like it deep.
Oh. Special thanks to Joan of Babish Jewelry and Wood Art, Guido Martin, and Jeremy Bright of Ripple Phoenix. You can donate. If I could just see my screen. I'm not situated correctly. I am all over the place.
Do you need me to do it?
You
got it? Okay.
I just didn't put my laptop back where I usually have it. Excuse me. There's stuff on my desk. This is what y'all see. This is what... Yeah, anyway. You can donate to us by click it, send it, whatever. PayPal.me/Let's Have a Fefe.
That's right. I was running way behind myself. I was running late. I was like, oh my god, I don't know what it was a struggle. I haven't eaten yet. So if you see me start to get a little weird, that's why.
Oh, that's it?
Shut up.
You can support us on Patreon down here too. I forgot to do that earlier. Anyway, you can also text LHAF to 602-730-7379. I don't know why my mouse like froze in the middle of that. Anyway, and I'll send you text alerts. I have been doing pretty good. I'm getting better.
I think I tried to sign up for that, but I never got a text. So I feel like it's personal.
Did you use the right keyword?
Yes.
I feel like you didn't, though. I feel like you didn't. Anyhow, if you want to sign up, make sure you text the right keyword, because otherwise, I don't think I get a message if you just text anything to it. I don't think so.
Because I see the direction every damn week. So I think I did it, but you probably just saw my number and said, "What the hell is this bitch doing?" And then just ignored me. And that's fine. It's fine.
No,
It's fine.
Sorry, I was on there this weekend too, because some people wished me a happy Mother's Day. Sweet of them. Oh hey, where we at work at? Where are we working?
I don't know where Vivek is working these days. I know she worked at
Jimmy
something.
John's?
I don't know. I think is that where she's working now? I don't know.
I feel like she should work at an Ulta.
I don't know.
Anyway.
Right.
Yes, polar opposites tonight. Yes, you're welcome.
Right.
Though in the workplace, I could be seen as a devil.
You could, yes.
And something new we've been doing this month. I think we earned $1.25.
Hey.
Yes. So if you're on Facebook, you can click the little star button, and we get a portion of the proceeds. Because Facebook got to make their money too. Anyway, but if you click the stars,
they don't make enough of it.
But if you click the star, then you can purchase like a certain amount of stars and give us whatever, and then we earn money off of you giving us stars. It makes me feel like a gamer. But anyhow, how was your weekend?
Weekend was actually pretty good. So, as I mentioned last week, well, when we were out and about for one of the kids' birthdays, we stopped at the furniture store and bought a new couch, which got delivered on Saturday. Not my birthday, the kid's birthday. My birthday's not until July.
You bought a couch for
yes,
the kids'
that's
birthday?
Correct. We bought a couch for their birthday. Correct. Except no. Oh my god, This thing is so fucking comfortable. It's like it's big and squishy and soft, and it's like a big, we call them like a poly couch, because you can fit like all these people and like snuggle.
Oh.
So we've been enjoying that. We've been enjoying that the last few days. It's been really nice to be able to work like on a really nice comfy couch. Sunday was Mother's Day. So the kids got dropped off in the morning because they were with their dad over the weekend. So they got dropped off with us.
Happy Mother's Day. That's wonderful.
Right. I made biscuits and gravy for breakfast, which my biscuits and gravy are damn good. They got a big thumbs up from the kids. That's how you know they're good. It's heard things like, it's good when I eat all the gravy, and these biscuits are better than dad's, which I will happily take. We went and got snacks and like movie popcorn. So we went and got snacks at the dollar store, and then went to
Excuse me. I wanted to know where my biscuits and gravy are.
Here. They're here. So if you can get your ass here, you can have biscuits and gravy too. But you have to get your ass here.
You better be careful what you ask for.
I believe it when I see it. So I went and got like snacks and stuff at the dollar store. I went to Harkins and got like a big thing of movie popcorn, and then we sat on the couch and we watched. Have you seen the newest Ghostbusters? I think it was put out last year. It's Ghostbusters Afterlife. Have you seen it?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so I'm always very skeptical when Like they come out with new things, with new franchises, with with old franchises and stuff. I'm like, because like
Mm-hmm.
the Ghostbusters that they did with like the all girl Ghostbusters,
Was that good?
fine. It
I
was
didn't really
cute.
watch that.
It was cute, but it was like, eh. This one is really fucking adorable. It's like it's full of nostalgia. It actually ties into the original Ghostbusters, and all the original
Oh,
Ghostbusters make an appearance.
which they
All
haven't
of
done
them.
in the new remakes at
So
all.
if you haven't seen it and you are a fan of like the original Ghostbusters, you should rent it because like we were getting super like emotional. We were like, oh my god, like it was just like it was really cute. Like were there some things that they could have done a little bit differently? Were there something that I would have liked a little bit more of? Yes, but for what it was really cute. And I highly recommend it. It was adorable.
But it
Um,
did not but it was far away from that horrible feeling that some of these remakes give me.
oh
That
god,
like, oh, we tried to do it just like the original, but put our like little
yeah,
flavor on
no.
it
This was
kind of
like it
thing.
wasn't a remake. It was like it because it ties
You know what
in.
I'm
So it's like
talking about, right?
Ghostbusters. Like yes, yeah. No. I think these things. I can't this thing. There we go. And I can't talk as I can't. There we go.
Did you at
I
least
keep
take a picture
lisping.
before you took?
I'm sort of. I'm gonna take better ones because I was running late, so I'll take better pictures after the show. I'll just pop them back in. It's fine.
Uh-huh.
And then we're still getting things out of the back shed, which is just a pain in the ass because it's like things have to be brought in, but they also have to be organized because there's stuff that's like kind of loose in random boxes. But I will say I have gone through a lot of boxes this week. Like I really have. Like I think I've gone through like half a dozen different boxes and like cleared things out, thrown shit away, reorganized things. So I am making progress on stuff. It's just a pain in the ass. And we're really close to like getting
What are you
construction started.
what are you
So like
organizing for?
to get everything out of the bag so it can be organized and be put back in after the drag cave is made into livable space.
Oh.
So
Mhm.
because we have to get everything out so that it can be basically redone. But
Mhm.
then when that's done, all of this here will be moved out there and it will no longer be in the bedroom, which will be really nice. And then yesterday we needed like a dumpling fix. Like we really, really needed a dumpling fix because we'd been thinking about them since we were sick with COVID. So we were like, what the hell? We drove down to Mekong and went to Happy Bow, which if y'all haven't gone to Happy Bow in Mekong, you need to do that because oh my God, this shit is amazing.
You were halfway to me, and then you didn't even like let me know.
Okay, but it's not really halfway. It was like little
Oh
less
my
than
god, I'm
halfway.
like 30 minutes away. I could have met you there.
Okay,
That's
well, next
rude.
time I will tell you,
That
I will
is
give you a
so
30-minute
rude.
warning. I will give you a
That is
30-minute
so
warning.
rude. That
I'll
is
give you a
so
30-minute.
rude.
Actually, you know what? The next
So
time we do
rude.
it, you should just come after work.
Totally. I
Honey,
totally
next time
could.
we go, we need to let Felicia know if it's a work
I
day so
totally
that
could
she
do
can just
that if
come after work because she's
yeah.
right there. So yeah, so
I could
it's
even
fine. How
walk.
was your weekend? You could
My
walk.
weekend. Let's
You
see.
probably won't,
So
but you could.
on what? I didn't
What?
hear what you said.
What?
It's okay. I'll watch the recording back and then I'll text you and be like, "What?" Anyway, my weekend. So on Saturday, um, David Boyles and I participated in the Art of Drag. It was kind of like I would say it's like a drag 101, but like really quick, little 2 hour snippet. He had the the main event, I want to say, and then I just talked about my drag journey, which
Hmm.
is colorful because, as most of you know, I went through a color finding journey before I came into
Yeah, I think your
race.
foundation was about the color of the highlight on my nose for a while there.
Yeah, no, well, there was
Yeah.
some point where I thought maybe a 6W and clown white were like a good fit for me. So, um, So there were a lot of oh, bless
Sorry.
you. It's the demons.
Mm.
Um, there were a lot of little bits and a lot of adults, including some officials from the city of Chandler and some supporters throughout. So even somebody from SRP approached us about doing this. So I think it was a good little ditty. Of course, I stayed up the night before, Friday night, overthinking and overanalyzing, and as one does, because I like
Right.
redid my presentation, even though I had done it like a week ago. I redid it, and then
I get that. I get that. I get that.
I was totally like, "Oh, I have my points," and then I was like, "Nope, redo that." So Friday night was mostly me redoing the presentation, and then Saturday I was wiped when I was done because I had been in my head so much.
Did you say
Um,
you were white when you were done?
white, white,
Oh, okay.
white.
Got it. Because I'm like, don't know that
No,
that's
I
how that
haven't been
works.
that way in a while. But it was a great turnout, and Sunday was like a recovery day, so to speak, because
Mm.
I was not in it to win it. But here we are. Here we are back
Well,
again.
that's good.
And it's
Taking a day to
graduation
like
season
recover
for
and
me,
like.
so
Oh yeah, that's right. Ha, ha, ha. I don't think you
I'm a
can see it, but
little.
my contacts are pink.
Oh, we'll have to
Mm,
talk about
you
where
see
you
me
got
wearing
those
contacts.
from. Are those the ones that like Ben
Mhm,
Havoc? Oh, okay.
mhm.
Oh
Yeah,
well,
that's where
I
I
get
get
them from
them.
the same place.
Yeah. So, all
Okay.
right. So,
Well,
my
shout
tip
out Ben
tonight. So
Havoc.
my tip tonight. My tip tonight was actually our teenage because this thing happened and we were like,
You
wow,
were
like
inspired by
that's
family.
really mature. Like it, yes. Okay. So
Story time.
I'm gonna preface this by saying, you know what? You need to talk to your tweens and your teens about breakups, boundaries, all that stuff. They might actually listen. And
Hmm.
it baffled me because like a 16-year-old was able to more maturely handle a breakup better than most adults I know. So, okay. So, I think I mentioned a few weeks back that our 16-year-old got his first girlfriend this
Hmm.
year, a few weeks ago. Great, cool, whatever. And things seem to be going well for the most part. You know, I mean, it's high school, so it is what it is, right? It's high school. And there were, there's rules at dad's house and there's rules at our house. Rules at dad's house is they weren't allowed in his room, period. Not with the door open, nothing. They were not allowed in his room. Um, with us, rules are a little bit different because we have a slightly smaller house, they could be in his room because he shares a room with his brother. So like his brother's going to basically be in there with them, right? So but the bed had to be made, they had to be sitting on top of the covers, hands had to be visible, all that good stuff. So like, if we stuck our
Hmm.
heads around the corner, the door had to stay open. Um so, if we stuck our heads around the corner, we could see that there was nothing weird going on, right? So, they're together for a few weeks, and then all of a sudden, all these little red flags kind of keep popping up. And I don't know if y'all remember being in high school, but girls in high school are fucking scandalous. And I know this
I
because I used to
believe the
be one.
guys were too.
They were, but like I'm thinking back to myself and all like the girls in my class and like the girls that I hung out with, like,
Mm.
mm, like
Yeah.
high school
Yeah.
girls are not the greatest, and I can say that like that, So here's some red flags that start popping up, right? So first of all, she said that she'd never had a boyfriend before. And based on her actions and things, we're like, I don't know if we believe that. Like, she was way too comfortable with certain things. You know what I mean? It was like, like
Oh,
there's
like
none of
she
that.
was in the
That
driver's seat?
right. Oh, very much so. Like, you remember your first like relationship, your first boyfriend or girlfriend, and things are kind
Mhm.
of awkward and you're kind of figuring out how things were. You know what I mean? Like, you're like, do we hold hands? Like, what do I do? You know what I mean? But there were things that she was just very comfortable with, and we're like, I don't know if I
Ooh.
believe this. Then
Ooh.
all of a sudden, rules are being broken at Dad's house. We find
Uh-oh.
out that they got in trouble for being in his room. And we're like, "Dude, what are you doing? Like, that's a rule. Why the fuck would you break it?
But
Like, that's
also
why would you
teenage.
do that?" Like, yes, but there's also a big difference between way things are handled at Dad's house and the way things are handled with us. So, breaking a
Yeah.
rule at Dad's house, like, that's just a dumb move. And it was like, "Well, we're like, "Whose idea was it? Yours or hers?" "Well, kinda both of ours." We're like, not sure about
Mm-mm.
that." And then we find out that she pushes boundaries. Like, she's very pushy with things, and we know how she talks to and how
Oh,
she
she's
treats,
a
like, her own
pusher?
family. Mm. So, like, she got him to call his mom at work after texting her multiple times to, like, ask her a question, because he knows if I text my mom and she doesn't answer, she's busy. She'll get back to me when she can. It was about going over to his girlfriend's house or something like that, right? But she was like, "Well, why don't you just call her? Why don't you just call her?" And he's like, "Look, my mom is working. I will, like, she'll get back to
Chill
me when she
out.
can." But she kept pushing, so he called, and it's like he just let it ring like 3 times, then hung up. And
Uh-huh.
then told us later that it was because she was pushing. And, we're like, we work. So, if you try to get a hold of one of us and we don't answer, it's because we're fucking busy. Um, she took his hoodie, even though he basically said no. And then
But wait,
rules are starting.
pause. In high school, taking the hoodie, does that mean the same thing in their high school as it did when we were in high
I
school?
don't fucking know. I don't know. But still, it's a boundary. If someone says no, you
Uh-huh.
don't fucking take that like, it doesn't matter what it is. Like, it
At that
you
point,
know.
it's stealing.
So, and then I caught them cuddling under the blankets a couple weekends ago, and I'm like, because I poked my head in and I was like, and or was it after? Might have been after school. I think this might have been after school. And I'm busy trying to run around and get dinner situated. I didn't say anything at the time because I'm like, all right, I'm not the parent, so I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna let his mom know. But literally, like, he was like laying on his bed. She was like on top of him under the covers. They were like cuddling. His brother was asleep in the bed right next to him, and I'm like, mm, mm,
Poor
mm,
taste.
mm, 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 mm.
Poor
So,
taste.
like, the door and stuff was open and whatever, but it was like, no. Like, that was that's a no-no. You know that that's a rule. You know that you're not supposed to do that shit. So, I let his mom know, and she was understandably like, there was a whole series of things that happened. So, she ended up, like, unloading on him after basketball practice, which it was like, dude, you keep breaking these rules. How the hell are we supposed to trust you? Like, this is how things get taken away. Pretty soon you're going to be sitting out here in the living room with no privacy at all. Like, you're going to have to sit out here with us, like, because that's how that's going to go, because you can't
Mhm.
follow basic rules. And we had talked to him about breaking rules, about trust, about boundaries, and all that stuff. And the thing is that at the other house, at the dad's house, they act like he's this, like, bad kid. Like, they had this thing and they said that, like, they were talking about, like, "Oh, well, which of us do you think are most likely to, like, sneak out?" And everybody said that he would. And I'm like, "Do they know you at all? Because this kid doesn't like being in trouble. He doesn't.
Mhm.
And he's a very good kid. Like, he does a lot of really good shit. He's, obviously he's 16, so sometimes it's like, dude, what the hell are you doing? But for the most part, he's a really good kid. Like, he really, really is. And I don't know why they seem to think they have this opinion of him at the other house, but we know better. And we've told him, we're like, look, dude, like, they have this opinion of you at the other house, and when you do dumb shit like break these rules, you're just feeding into the opinion that they have of you, even though we know that it's not accurate,
Mm-hmm.
And so we told him, look, you keep doing this shit, privileges are gonna get pulled, and you're gonna end up really fucking miserable. So, like I said, he doesn't like being in trouble. He doesn't. And I think he started seeing some of these red flags, and the fact that she was pushing boundaries, and the fact that, he'd say no and she'd do it anyway, and that she was being kind of manipulative. So he ended up breaking up with her, I think on Monday. And this
Oh,
was
what's that? You got a case of
it
the
was
Mondays?
it was we never said, hey, you should break up with this chick. We never said anything. We're like, he's
Mm-hmm.
gonna figure it out, he's gonna do what he needs to do. And he texted his mom before he told anybody else, and he was like,
Oh, that's so
I
cute.
really, and he was like, I really don't like the decisions I was making with her, and I really don't like the fact that you guys were losing your trust in me. And and I'm like, this is a 16-year-old that is like, I broke up with this chick because she was having, I was making poor decisions being with her, and I didn't like that y'all were starting to not trust me. Like, this is a fucking
Mm-hmm.
16-year-old that said this. Like, what? Like, I don't even, I know adults that can't even be mature about that kind of shit. Like, they can't, make a decision and be like, no, I was making shitty decisions, or I was doing shitty stuff, so I'm gonna, separate my stuff. No, it's always the other person's fault. It's never I'm taking accountability for my own. And like, yes, we found out today that she's trying to cause drama, like, and
Of
that's
course
the way
she
it is.
is.
Right.
She's a poor
Like,
innocent victim. Of course she
right.
is.
Well, like when I guess when she brought back his hoodie and things like that, and she gave it to his friend and was like, this will probably be dirty because like my friends took it and like rubbed it all over the lockers and stuff. It's like, ugh. And it
Oh,
this is
so
what I'm
she's
saying.
immature
Like,
too.
teenage girls are fucking awful. They're awful. Teenage girls are awful. They're awful. They're vindictive, they're terrible, they're manipulative. I hate them. But like, he's not doing anything. He's just like, well, that sucks, but he's not trying to retaliate. He's not like going on social media and posting this whole big old thing about whatever. And it's like, as adults, we now suddenly, because we have the ability to, like, we're like, okay, we're going to go ahead and put our entire fucking lives on social media. Oh, I just broke up with somebody. Watch me write a 16-page dissertation about why I hate this person. Oh, but then I'm going to get back together with them next week.
Oh,
But like, how many times do we see people, they start drama, they start vague booking, they're trash talking, and we feed into it because we respond with our own vague booking, and then we comment with, like, the eyes emoji,
mm-hmm.
which that
Well,
shit, like, you're just
I
perpetuating
kind of am
drama.
glad that a
Like,
lot of people have gotten away from putting relationship statuses on Facebook. Um,
mm,
some people have moved over to Instagram, and I see all of a sudden their mates' pictures disappear, and I
mm,
think that's when I kind of be like, oh, but I don't,
I
I
don't
don't
hate that
dig,
shit. I'm like, whatever. Like, it
I
is what
don't
it
dig
is.
in that basket. I just go, oh, there's somebody new.
Right.
In fact, I
I
think
just,
I
it's just
saw
like, as
someone this weekend, and I thought, oh, um, that's not the person
I
I saw you with the
I see
last
that stuff,
time.
and that
So,
sometimes I'm like, weren't you just with somebody? I'm like, it's whatever. But like, I just, I'm like, if we can't handle shit, in a mature way, the way a fucking 16-year-old can handle it, like, come on. And it just, it pisses me off because every time I see somebody post like something that's like, full of drama. It's like we have to poke the bear, so we put the eyes, or we put the the popcorn eating emoji or whatever. It's like, stop fucking feeding into the bullshit. How old are you? Like,
I will
I get
forever
it.
be.
We like the drama. Like, I get it. As humans, we Schadenfreude is a thing, but also, come on, like, can you be a fucking adult? Like, I hate that shit so much. Like, it. Oh my god.
Am
And
I the drama?
but but this whole thing is like, it just kind of goes to show, because we talk to our kids. I say our kids, we talk to the kids, and talk
I
to them
also
about
want to say
relationships.
that
Talk to them about, like,
it's good on you all that you have that relationship, because um, from what I can hear, it doesn't sound like he has that relationship with his father that he can
no, definitely
say,
not.
I feel this way about this girl, and I feel like I'm not getting anywhere, but I don't want to be a troublemaker, because that could turn itself he could be thinking that he's doing the right thing, but also us as parents need to come in and kind of sometimes swoop up our kids and say, you're not doing this right. And sometimes they hear us. Sometimes it doesn't seem like they hear us, but they hear us. And when they take action and let you know that they actually heard
Right.
you, but good on you all that you have
Was
that.
his dad thinks his hot shit because he gave him the talk and showed him how to put a condom on a banana. We're
Oh,
like,
I
dude,
had that
we've
talk
been
when I
giving
was
him
10.
the talk for like years now. Like, you're an idiot, whatever. Um, but but it's talk to them and be real when you talk to them. Like, we talk to them about being a match and not being a match, and you can be a match with somebody and then outgrow them, or you're growing in different directions, so then you're not a match. It doesn't mean anybody's wrong, it just means you're not a match, so
Mhm.
whatever. Relationship fluidity, like, um um like,
Like we talked about a couple weeks ago,
like,
things can
right,
change.
like, right,
People
it
change.
changes, it doesn't have to stay the same. It's just like,
And
but
also,
you have to be
we
real
live
about
in
it.
this society where love is over romanticized.
I don't know.
And it is like when you watch a movie, it doesn't show you like them arguing over, like
Right.
who's gonna buy the
The dishes.
groceries, or
Right.
who's gonna wash the dishes that night. The stupidest things that you have arguments about, but will you last through those things? Maybe you won't, or maybe you realize this is the I'm tired of having these arguments over doing the dishes, or maybe it's
Right.
bigger than that. But good on
And it's,
him.
but it's like, talk, and it just, if you start talking about it with your kids now, and I'm not saying you have to start when they're like, 8, but as they get older, especially as they start hitting their sort of tweens and teens, where they're going to start noticing people, when they may start developing romantic feelings for somebody, if they're, like, we know how old we were when we were doing naughty things
Mhm.
with people that we probably shouldn't have been. So it's
I'd
like,
rather not
okay, well,
say. Rather
right.
not
So it's
incriminate.
like, talk to them about that. Talk to them about boundaries. Like, and that's a big one. Like, no means no. It doesn't matter what it is. If you set a boundary and that person crosses that boundary, that's a problem. Like, you have to start talking to them. And like I said, there's drama. We knew that she was probably going to start drama. I knew that she was probably going to start drama because she's a fucking teenage girl, and teenage girls are the worst. And you can't control what they do, and you can't control what they say, but you can control how you behave. And like, I know damn well that at least a few of my exes have tried to say some dumb shit about me, which is fine. It is what it is. And the people who are actually there know the truth. Like, they saw the constant cheating that was happening, they saw the emotional abuse, they saw all of it. So, like, with like my
I tried to
breakups, I don't
save you
make a big
from
hoopla
it.
on social media. Mm, mm, Like, I don't generally say anything about it on social media. Like, I just like whatever, like, because it's not anybody's business. But we seem to think that all of our shit is everybody's business. So we're gonna post all the things
Mm-hmm.
on everywhere. It's like, look, if a 16-year-old knows better, then we need to do better as ugh. Yeah.
I think that teenagers are, or the younger generation is starting to realize that there is consequences to social media. Because once you post something, then it's kind of like your permanent piece of history. And I know that for a fact. Cyberbullying is part of our growing suicide rates
Yep.
when it comes to teenagers, especially LGBTQ plus teenagers. So um, I say definitely be careful, not only as a social media professional, but as a parent, as a human being, that if I had social media when we were kids,
Oof.
whoa, we would have
Am I a
been
social media
so
professional?
no. Um, and I I know that some of the shit that I see on social media from adults these days would have gotten you beat up in high school. Like straight
Seriously.
up. Like we would have been meeting outside.
It's because people are
I,
brave when they're behind a screen and no one can actually like reach them. Like,
but I'm also one that so I do complain sometime on social media. But I think I've gotten to a point where I think I'm too tired to even worry about the other person.
right.
And I either block or, you know, mute.
Oh, I've just started like at this point, depending on what it is, like I just unfriend and block. I'm like, I don't even have time for this bullshit. I'm over it. Like, just
Yeah. So,
like just
you know,
oof.
it took me 20 years to figure that out, but hey, we move on
It
and
is what it
we
is.
um hmm.
Let's see. What have we got happening in the world today? Oy.
So my big WTF is that um abortion things are still happening and bans on trans people
Mm,
is still happening. And
yeah.
so that's my big WTF with the world. Um, why? But why?
So with Roe v. Wade looking like it's going to be overturned, unless there's some like thing that pops up in the Supreme Court decides that they're not going to be shitty humans, there are companies are starting to step up and say that they're going to start helping to pay for and expenses for employees who want an abortion if it's not available within 100 miles of where the employee lives. Um,
Oh
the
wow.
list of big companies that are starting to do this include Microsoft, Amazon, Yelp, Citigroup, Levi Strauss and Company, Lyft, and Salesforce. Those are some pretty heavy duty, like big companies. Um, so it'll be interesting to see how many other like Fortune 500 companies decide to follow suit. I would love to see some healthcare companies jump in on that bandwagon. Looking at you, CVS. And
Um,
to see if because I mean that would be fantastic. Like, oh, look, my employee needs an abortion. There's nothing available within 100 miles. All right, well, let's help you, take care of some travel expenses, some medical expenses. Some of them are paying, I think, up to like $4,000 for travel and medical expenses related to abortions, which is kind of cool. So,
I need an abortion. I'm
Lord.
going to Hawaii.
Uh, right, right, right.
uh, I mean, don't ask questions. Just let me fill out the paperwork and we'll take care of it when I get back from my abortion.
And it's anticipated
You're
that at least
welcome.
26 states are going to ban abortions if Roe v. Wade is overturned. That's more than half.
Arizona being one of them.
Yup. Go
Aren't we
us.
fun? Aren't we a fun group here? We're such a fun group.
Hmm.
Though I did see a meme that said Arizona is Florida 2.0. Made me feel kind
We're
of
the
sad.
Florida. We're the West Side Florida.
The Florida with no water is what one of them said. So,
We're the dry Florida.
Yeah, just wow.
That's
That
not
sucks.
a good reputation, y'all. That's not a good reputation.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Speaking
We're
of
not
Florida,
doing so well. Oh, here we Oh, I didn't even speaking of Florida. Florida just says that a new congressional map is unconstitutional, saying it would be illegal. Oh my god. It would illegally suppress black voters in northern. Usually they attack the southern, but okay. Northern Florida.
so this is
Earlier this year.
this is the area that borders like Georgia right there. So it's still like
Yeah.
the South. So it's
It's the part where you enter and you think, "Oh, this is okay. This is okay." And then as you go, you're like, "What the Anyway, earlier this year, Florida lawmakers approved a different map and a backup in case the first one was unconstitutional. So they
Okay,
knew.
if you have to have a backup map because you think the first one might be unconstitutional, it's probably unconstitutional. Just saying. Just saying.
That's like saying, like, I think maybe this one's wrong, but I'll turn it in anyway. But while I know that that one's wrong, I'm going to make a new one. Okay, well, why don't you just turn in the new one that you knew was right? Anyway, they got a new map drawn up. How do you say this fella's name?
It's DeSantis.
DeSantis. I know. I don't like this man. Is mad because Florida's 5th congressional district, currently Democratic, runs 150 miles in an area with roots in the black community once populated by plantations. Let's say that again. With roots in the communities once populated by plantations. Which has two meanings to me. He doesn't like that the blacks have a chance to vote. And also, he is mad that the blacks have freedoms that give them rights to vote.
He doesn't like that there's 150 miles that is Democratic and not Republican. He doesn't like that those 150 miles are predominantly black. And the court was like, look, like this is what this is. Like you can't just go chopping this up trying to make it that it's now look,
making your own rules. Oh no! I saw
2 former Oklahoma cops are charged manslaughter, just manslaughter, mind you, just manslaughter, in the killing of an unarmed black man, Quadri Sanders,
not murder.
2021. Manslaughter. So this is what happened. They were called to the house for violation of a restraining order. Sanders apparently was refusing to let a resident leave. After a short standoff, the resident was able to leave the house. And Sanders exited the house. There's body cam footage of this. There's body cam footage.
There absolutely is.
So there was a standoff, but he did leave the house. The body cam shows that he walks out the front door. The only thing he has in his hand is a baseball cap, and you can see it because I guess he switches hands. He like has it in one hand and puts it to the other hand.
And this is during the daytime, isn't it?
I think it's nighttime.
Not at nighttime.
Yeah. But he can be seen raising his hands above his head. And then one cop decides to fire 4 times. Sanders falls, tries to sit back up, and while he's trying to sit back up, he still has his hands above his fucking head while he's trying up after being shot at 4 times. Then the other cop decides to fire 7 times, and at the same time, the first cop fires another 4 rounds. There was no weapon found on him or in the area where he was. He was found
but manslaughter.
With, manslaughter. 12 rounds were found in him. He was pronounced dead at the hospital. But first degree manslaughter is what they're
manslaughter.
Not anything else. Manslaughter. Because they shot an unarmed man who was clearly putting his hands up and had no weapon on him. But that's fine. So I want to talk about this next thing a little bit. We talk about a little bit of world news, but we don't talk a lot about world news. But I wanted to talk a little bit about this particularly. Most of you probably have no fucking clue that I actually spent 3 years in Sri Lanka when I was a kid.
Do
I was
count as those
there.
people? Because I knew.
You knew. I said most people. I was there 5th grade through 7th grade, so it was 3 years. But it was smack in the middle of a civil war, and when we moved
Is that
there
terrifying?
were curfews in place, there were rolling blackouts, not just bomb threats, but actual bombings numerous times.
Ooh.
Like, I remember being at a sleepover at my friend's house, and all of a sudden everything shook and a shit ton of dirt fell down from the ceiling. Found out that a few blocks away, they had decided to blow up an outdoor market for no real reason.
Wow.
And there was a constant military presence all the time. There were military checkpoints all over the place. Like, it was, it was, it's what it was. It was not uncommon to see bodies floating in the river. We would take a drive around the coast to there was like a resort along the coast. It was common to, when you take that drive, there's bodies on the beach, there's bodies in all over. Like, it was, we were in the middle of a fucking civil war. Obviously, being white and having expat status, we were able to enjoy certain privileges, but even so, if we were out past curfew, like, we could totally get in trouble for it. But 30 years later, this is literally 30 years later, the country is still in turmoil. And I knew that there were still issues, but I hadn't realized to what extent they had grown. I guess just in the last couple of days, protesters have burned homes belonging to 38 different politicians. Troops have been ordered to shoot on sight anyone caught causing any damage. They are in the middle of a massive economic crisis. I guess it's the worst since like 1948. Prices of on food and everyday goods have gotten to the point where locals can't afford them. Like, they literally can't afford shit.
Wow.
There's electricity shortages, which means that not only are you having rolling blackouts, but there are areas where they're like, okay, we're going to go ahead and shut off your electricity for however long. The prime minister resigned after live footage showing his supporters beating and attacking protesters, burning their tents, all sorts of stuff showed up on the news. And here's the thing. I'm looking at all of this and I'm seeing people that like, they're not happy. They're not happy with their government. They're not happy with the economy. They're not happy with any of this. And enough, this is what happens. And if you think that this type of thing can only happen in quote unquote third world countries, you are very, very mistaken. It's absolutely where we are headed. We are like one civil right being taken away from another civil or revolutionary war at this point. How many more rights are our government going to take away? And with the White House shit and just being like, like, at what point are we going to be like, you know what? We're done. We're going to burn shit. And it'll, January 6th was
very
for all the wrong fucking reasons. When this population, when we have had enough and we decide, you know what, there's going to go ahead and we're going to do this. That's when it's going to be, because we've all been made second-class citizens. Nobody has health care. All of our rights are being taken away. Like, it's this is not just something that happens, in poor, underdeveloped countries. Like this is literally where we're headed right now. Just saying.
Um, uh, I think that the abortion thing is just so much bigger than people actually realize that it is.
Mhm.
And we keep making these laws against people that are that it's not called for. We keep making these laws against people that are in, uh, so we call it marginalized communities, and just keep putting the pressure on for no, like, we want everything to be data driven, right? And there's no data that says that abortions is killing the creation of man, or that
Yeah.
it's causing any harm to anybody, um, or just things of that nature. And so when we keep doing this, there was a lady that was on. We listen to talk radio sometimes, and they asked about abortion versus the economy, and so she said that if you keep taking um, first of all, she said abortion was higher on her priority list than um oh that's oh um abortion, let me finish the thought and then I'll jump into that one. But I she said that abortion was higher on her priority list politically because she said once women's rights get taken away, there's no coming back, because it took so long just for women to get rights, and we're just like what, 100 years or so, I think, for
Not
women's rights, and then
not
maybe
even not
75
even
years.
not even.
Let me
No, not
see.
it depends on what rights you're talking about,
Um,
because remember women couldn't even have their own bank account until the 70s.
oh, that's true. So, I mean, all of those things, like, why are we still thinking this way, and why haven't we, gone to a place where we're thinking more and forward and more intuitive
The problem
for our
is that all
people?
these politicians are forgetting that, number one, we are not a Christian nation. We are not founded on Christian values, but what they use to govern their laws and all this shit is this fucking Christian doctrine that you find in the Bible, which is complete horseshit. Like complete horseshit. In their minds, all the women need to be completely subservient. It's like if they could go back to trading their daughters for 6 goats and like a bag of rutabagas, I'm sure they probably would, because it's just easier that way. Like all of these things, if you look at
Okay,
everything, like we forget that there's a difference between church and there's separation between church and states, or there's supposed to be. But these
so women have not even had the right to vote. They've only had the right to vote for like 102 years.
Mhm.
Um, because
And that's white
1920,
women.
August 18th. Yes. And then let's see. Oh gosh, it doesn't give me a clear answer on when did black women get to vote. Um, but it's very telling that, like, it seems like history wasn't that long ago, when we keep doing stuff that's like, oh no, no, we need to go back to making abortions illegal.
Well, I mean, think about it.
Then
This
you're
country's
like,
not that old. So
yeah,
like like, do we want to go back to, the Puritans? Because we can go back to the Puritans. That'll be super fun for everybody.
yeah,
It's just
that.
it's a fucking mess.
And it looks like black women didn't get to vote until 1965.
Hmm. Yeah. So if we want to talk
So
women,
all of
white
these
women,
things, yeah.
like,
And then when people are like, "Get over it. You have freedom." You're like, "Wait a minute. Do I really? Or is it freedom how you see it?"
Right. Right. Let's talk
because
about. You want to talk
that's
about real freedom? Because we can talk about real freedom. Like we can talk about actual equal rights if you want to, but they don't want to hear that. That's the they'd rather just
you
they
know.
don't want to hear it.
So well,
What kind of gigs we got coming up?
I know that on Saturday we have something.
Sex
Saturday we have sex
trivia.
trivia
I'm
at
excited about that.
Gracie's Tax Bar.
We weren't able to do last month because I was dying.
Literally. And that starts at 8:00. Sign up at 8:00. We'll start the game at 8:30. It's really a good time. And let's see. Wait, pause for a second. This is very long. When I was a teenager, still deep into church, I wanted to go to a Christian university. I had my heart set on becoming. I was
You
reading.
can read the whole
that.
thing over here.
Oh my gosh. I had my heart set on becoming a pastor, a missionary. My pastor refused to write a letter of recommendation because women should not hold a high position in the church.
No, we can't have that. We can't have that.
My goodness. What is the threat of women having high
Because if women have like
authority?
high bits of authority, then men don't have control anymore, and that's all it is. It's all about control. Literally, that's all it is.
But I often feel like when women are in leadership roles, I feel like they bring the men along. What I feel, and this is only based on my personal experiences, when cis men are in control of situations, they don't bring the women along with them, and they often act like it's the me I show.
Right. Well, yeah, because that's what it is. They don't care about anybody else.
So that's anyway. Back to gigs. On the 20th, we have Cat Bingo. And then you have
on
on the
the
21st.
21st, I'm super excited because I am back to an in-person drag story hour, which I'm super stoked for. I will be at Drag Story Hour at Brick Road Coffee on May 21st at 10 a.m. So come on out for that. It's in Tempe. I would love to see folks because I've missed doing this so much. So come on out if you are able.
I met the owners of.
Aren't you fancy?
Oh no, not fancy. They were just at the gig on Saturday. And then on May 22nd, I will be at Stacy's for Magic. That's at 8 p.m. And then we're both at Fan Fusion on May 27th. We may be doing some other stuff at Fan Fusion, but stay tuned.
We shall see. Yes. June 4th, the English Rose Tea Room up in Carefree is doing a thing for the Queen's Jubilee, and they're getting folks to come out and like impersonate different British celebrities. So I got roped into doing Elton John, so I'll be doing that.
Roped in.
I got two. Look, they're paying me. I got two performances, one at 11:45 and then one at I think 1:45 that day.
Excuse me.
June 17th is another cat bingo, which is exciting. June 18th is another sex trivia, and we got new categories coming. There'll be at least one new category this weekend, so I gotta do that.
Well, I'll do it before I do the board.
June 25th, I am headed to much fucking cooler weather as I go to Centralia, I don't know, Washington for Lewis County Pride. So folks that are in Seattle or Portland can come see me because Centralia is literally the center between the two. It's like literally, it's about exactly halfway between Seattle and Portland. So come up and see me.
Oh, interesting.
And this is everybody's heads up. You put it in your calendar now, so you can't say that we didn't tell you. July 16th.
Oh, I can't hear you. I'm so sorry.
That's fine. You will hear it every week until then. So, July 16th is actually my birthday weekend, and I'm going to be performing in Lady Christian's show on that Saturday, Lady on the Rocks. So put it in your calendars, and then I will remind you to make your reservations so you can come out and come kick it with me for my birthday weekend. Because I'm getting old, and I don't know how many birthday weekends I have left that I'll be able to do this where I don't like hurt my knees. So come out and watch me not break a hip. But put it in
You
your
can't
calendars so you
guarantee
don't forget.
that. You cannot guarantee
I
that you
can't.
won't break a hip.
Shh, it'll be fine. I'll have a walker. It'll be all right. We'll be fine.
Oh my God. Hi, Marissa. Marissa, you showed up a little late,
girl.
Did the time change or something? Because
I have no idea.
I
She's
don't know
still
what
late.
happened. Texas got a new clock. I don't know.
It's Texas. Anything's possible. They decide to go on their own time. I mean, yeah, it's what it is. We still should have guests at some point. In theory.
I should just go post it on Patreon right now. Let me just do this. Oh my God.
It's fine. We'll figure it out. But that being said, thank you all so much for joining our conversation tonight. Remember to talk to your kids about relationships and stuff, like, sooner rather than later, and be real with them. Don't be vague booking and put all your shit on Facebook because nobody likes that. Don't feed into the drama. Just keep scrolling. Just fucking keep scrolling.
Just keep scrolling.
Just keep scrolling. And hopefully we will see you at one of our upcoming gigs. Sex Trivia is always a good time. I highly recommend coming out for that. Cat Bingo is always a good time.
We have actual prizes that you can win at both.
Yeah, we do. Yeah. Like actual things. Which I have to go get more stuff for Sex Trivia.
Stuff you can actually use. Especially at Sex Trivia. Think about it.
Because we know if I'm shopping for prizes for Sex Trivia, what you will get are things that you can actually use.
Huh?
Because this is me we're talking about. So, anywho,
not me,
thank you all so much to those of you who watch live and on the replay and who listen to us as podcasts. You can listen to us on podcasts. If you listen to us as a podcast, please make sure that you rate us on whatever podcatcher that you listen to us on, whether it's Spotify or the iTunes or whatever, because that's helpful. Please and thank you. And rate us 5 stars because we're educational.
I mean, but why not?
Right?
Why wouldn't
Just
you
do it.
rate us 5 stars, though?
Right? Just saying.
Who does that?
Yeah. And we will see you next week for your Wednesday night conversation. Good night.
Good night.
Promotional consideration for Let's Have a Fefe provided by Wigs of a Kind, The Burly Barber, Bone and Basil, as well as our patrons at Patreon. Go to patreon.com/Let's Have a Fefe to become a Fefe patron. Virtual tips accepted at paypal.me/Let's Have a Fefe. Subscribe to the Let's Have a Fefe podcast. You can listen on your favorite podcatcher. See you next week for your Wednesday night conversation. This has been Let's Have a Fefe. Good night.